Good morning and welcome to welcome to Trading with Larry. Wait a second. I'm taking a double take. The number came in at 3 point. I have to laugh. It came in at 3.7. How could that even be real? Wait, Trump, hold on. Yes, hi, this is Donald. Fire everyone involved. Gotta go. Anyway, um, this is actually pretty funny. I guess
I told you that producer index might come in hot.
you knew everything. I know. It's that you knew. I know.
Everything.
You knew everything. Dude, you
I
literally, I
told you.
know. You got it.
Yesterday you weren't bearish enough. You just weren't bearish enough.
Okay, I'm not bearish enough. Whatever you say. I'm short. I'm short 9 names. Go. You know what's funny? You could see my positions. Not only as a subscriber, you could see them inside the Opportunistic Trader, but you can also see them other places. So you're right. But this reaction is very muted. Very muted. It's actually a joke. They were down 20 handles. We haven't been down in a gazillion we haven't been down. Listen, between us on this call, this is not changing the Fed's opinion. Okay, the Fed is going to cut rates. So is it really bearish? I'm just saying it is an extremely bearish number. They want to buy stocks no matter what. Don't you understand? They'll say this number isn't real. They'll make up excuses. They'll do whatever. This is a bubble. This is an actual bubble that we're in. I mean, this number today is absolutely abominable. You don't think this number is abominable? Showing massive inflation. You there?
Yeah, I was just I was looking
You're
at
trading?
the YouTube live for
You're
questions.
trading. Wait, you're buying? You're bearish and you're buying? I'm covering.
I'm not. I haven't made one trade yet. Not one
Awesome.
trade.
Why?
What is there to do? I mean,
We actually came in long bonds. Bonds are actually higher, slightly, but they were a lot higher a minute ago. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I mean, today could be really interesting because today everybody's buying the dip, and you know these stocks just they don't go down. Like the Nasdaq future is down, and these stocks are barely down. Tesla's down 50 cents. Let's go over it. Palantir, the market darling that has to go up every single day. Listen, every retail customer in the United States is hiding in this name. They love it. They bought it at 90, 100, 110, it's 180. They won't sell a share. So that stock's back on the way down to 140, 130 minimally. It won't go in a straight line. That stock's down $1 today after running like a banshee. And right now things just look weird to me. Not you. I mean, stuff is just not down. I mean, Coinbase is down a lot. Thank you, Touchdown T. Nvidia is still above 180, not even through yesterday's low. How could that not be through yesterday's low? And here we sit. And we'll see if the true comes out, but maybe, just maybe the Fed is not cutting. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I personally
now the door
don't think.
is slightly open for a big disappointment. I mean, I I always thought that they shouldn't cut. I mean, markets are at all-time high.
Dude,
A lot of stuff is at all-time highs. Like, why would they be cutting rates? Are they that concerned about the jobs market, which continues to grow? Maybe a slight slowdown, but we've been there before. I don't know. It kind of opens up the door for a negative surprise.
What's a negative surprise?
That they don't cut rates like everybody thinks they do.
Dude, well, we'll see. We're going to see what happens. Um, we'll see. We'll see what goes on here.
The
And
other thing, the producer price index, which really blew out analyst estimates, came in at 3.7. But the CPI is at 3.1. And so what does that tell you? The producer price index is higher than the CPI. That's been a trend, actually, um, since tariffs started to come along. What does
mhm.
that tell you? I mean, it tells me that margins are just continuing to be under pressure.
Listen, this is the most over speculated market that I've seen in my 40-year career, including '08. So I don't, again, I have my buddy who's probably watching, who's Johnny Bull Gravano, looking for every bullish thing, telling me I got to be less bearish, and I got to come off that. So maybe that's a good thing. So I'm not going to be bearish. I'll let the market be bearish for me today, which I really like. So we'll see. Listen, we'll see if they can even sustain. The Nasdaq's only down 140. I mean, Apple. Let's talk about Apple. Apple was $204 a share, 204, right? Look at it now. It rallied 15% in a week because why? They're getting back into AI. They missed the boat and they're going to swim back into AI. I mean, something doesn't make sense. So whatever. That stock's down 80 cents today. It ran 80 cents on the close. So I'm lost at what's going on in the market. I can't find how we're down, what we're down. You know, I think I'm going to sell a little more Palantir today. Feeling giddy on that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
I got aggressive with those. I got aggressive with those yesterday, and I also got I opened
it's
up a
down a
position.
dollar. You're not making money. It's down a dollar. I mean, the S&P
I
is
have.
down.
I'll tell you what my I have October 170 puts, 170 150 bear put for October. So I don't need a big move down. You know,
Um, yeah, well, listen, we'll see what these clowns have in store. I mean, listen, they're not going to stop buying them. They've been buying them every day. As another one of my friends said, we're on autopilot. I don't know what that means. What does autopilot mean? We're just on buy mode
I guess he
autopilot.
means I guess he means it's just drift
No,
to the upside.
autopilot. Everything's dude. Listen, the
Everything's
stock
easy.
market is easy. Just remember how easy it is. Okay. So, it's actually interesting because they may actually have stock for sale because they've been buying and buying and buying and they're overweighted everything. And we got a serial expiration on Friday, tomorrow. Okay. Um, so they may have to
Explain
unwind some stuff, you
explain to
know.
people what that means.
Nothing. It's just like it doesn't mean as much as what it used to, but it's the original expiration for for the month. We used to only have one expiration. Now they're listing, expirations every day. Soon stocks are going to expire. Now stocks are just Friday. Most stocks. Now we're going to have stocks expiring every day, dude. It's going to be Casino Royale. Okay. The exchange is a little worried about listing those. So we'll see in fact, how that stuff works.
So right now, just a little recap. S&P down 45 basis point, Nasdaq down 55, and that Russell 2000 that had everybody's attention yesterday. It was up 2% yesterday. The Nasdaq was flat. That was the trade, and you and I were talking, and it was all short covering in the Russell. Today, Russell, as we speak, down 1.5% before the open. So I don't know. You think the market algo broke a little bit yesterday,
No,
or or like
No,
that was some
yeah.
kind of
Well, I think hedge funds got hit. Um, don't worry. By the time we're off the podcast, we'll be green. Everything is fine. The number won't matter. It's all bull. It's bull, bull, bull. So stocks are barely down. That the stocks don't match the futures. That's all I could tell you.
So what's your play today? What are you thinking with this kind of reaction? How do you approach a reaction right like this, right? It's a negative reaction. Are you hitting the hole? Are you waiting for the
No,
open?
you know what?
Waiting for a
I actually have, not the greatest. I have decent position, but not the greatest of positions because I'm short some downside puts here, which I'm not that comfortable with. Um, so I have to. Amazing, great, great Phil. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I don't. I'm in the middle of doing.
you,
I'm in the middle of trading.
you're
I'm
trading
in
a
the middle
book
of,
and doing the podcast at the same time.
exactly. And usually for everyone out there, we're up every single morning. We were up 23 of the last 24 mornings, so there wasn't a lot to do. But today, I'm able to, do some stuff because the market is finally take a picture lower. So that's that. Um, the numbers they're shocking actually. You don't think this is a shocking number to the system?
No, I told you the producer price index might come in hot, so it's not shocking to me.
You actually did, but these numbers, I mean, he's got to be going ballistic right now. He being Donald Trump has got to be going ballistic right now in his office. Absolutely, literally ballistic. Okay. You don't think he's going ballistic right now?
I don't know, but it looks like your subscribers think he might. They're like, I think Willie's saying, "Good morning. I wonder who gets fired today." So I think you
Somebody's
got your
gonna,
people believe
somebody, listen, I think the market's setting up from some real.
nobody's getting fired. Trump doesn't even know what a PPI is.
He
So
doesn't, but he wants lower rates no matter what. He doesn't even know why. He doesn't know who it's going to help or what it's going to do, but it sounds good, so he wants lower rates. I mean, come on, dude. This is mind blowing. But anyway, like I said, futures can't really go down because, like, listen, maybe this is a decent opening to maybe, I don't. I'm not
don't say
suggesting
it.
it.
Don't say
No, but I'm
buy.
saying to short stocks against the
Oh, okay.
future. The futures don't make any sense. The futures are down 100, which is nothing. We ran that on the bell yesterday. But these stocks, Apple's down 60 cents. Palantir rallied a dollar, down a dollar. By the opening, some retail guy in Botswana is going to buy it. Who knows? I'm sure Nvidia somehow is nothing is down. That's what's so strange. I'm looking at the market and it does not make sense. Nothing is
So where
down.
do you see a mismatch?
I see the futures are wrong right now. I mean, unless they turn, listen, the one thing is it's pre-market, so they could turn these stocks hard, but the stocks are not even down. They're not even down. I mean, they can't wait to buy this market. I mean, literally.
I
So
mean, the stocks are. I
but
see what you're saying.
how do they explain
They're
this
all
number?
down. Like I don't see any stocks up.
Eric,
So
we're down 25 handles. Apple's down 50 cents. Palantir's down a dollar. Nvidia is actually rallying and is only down 75 cents. This is nothing. I mean, yesterday Nvidia traded 179 and change. It's trading 180.80. How is that looking bearish? I mean, listen, I'm looking to get short. I'm looking for the market to crack. I'm just telling you, the inmates are basically running the asylum and there's no one home. Everybody's afraid to sell. I mean, if you really want to look at the number, it's horrendous. It's horrendous on every metric right here. Okay? Let's look at it. Okay? PPI was looking at point two. It came in at point. These numbers are so out of whack that it's scary how out of whack they are. The inflation is, you know what I think is happening here? Inflation is actually hitting the producer level because of tariffs before it's hitting the consumer level. So what's happening is if this just popped into my head and I really think this is right. I think that the producers, like, let's look at Mercedes Benz. Okay. They got tariffed. Okay. They didn't pass one price increase to the consumer. So nothing has been priced yet to the consumer. This is all inflation coming from the tariffs, but only hitting at the producer level. So this is
Yeah.
really scary because you know what's coming next, right? What do you think is
So
coming
that's
next?
it's gonna the CPI is gonna. That's what we've been thinking is going to happen, but it hasn't been happening yet. We were seeing it in the PPI, and if we do see it in the CPI, that's where the Fed might surprise everyone and not do what is expected of them to do, which is cut rates.
Oh, 100% they're cutting rates. I mean, you know why? It has nothing to do with the numbers. This is all, believe it or not, this is all political. You would never think that JJ Powell would be caving, but he's completely caved. Because he think about the situation he's in right now, right? He's in a situation, he's job term is over in 8 months, right? The guys on the Federal Reserve Committee want to be the Fed chairman, right? So they're coming out, like you've seen these guys come out with these major things that they want to cut rates. And this Powell doesn't want to cut rates, it's everyone else. So, he knows what's really happening. But all of these people, as you would say, are auditioning for the Fed job. So the audition is make Trump happy and cut rates, or say you're going to cut rates. So now that's resonated into the Fed, and that's where we're at. But you know, before this number even came out, the Fed should not be cutting rates. Not. Okay. Growth is very strong. Okay. Inflation, they can't tell right now. Now this number is so negative. I know the market is not viewing it as negative because we're in a bull bubble. But this number is negative. It's really negative. And why it's negative is it's showing you that tariffs have hit the market here. The tariffs are hitting the producers. They're not hitting the consumer yet because, like what I just said with
Hiding.
Mercedes
They're
and
hiding.
BMW and other products, they're not passing it along. They're eating the cost. But this is their cost. Their pure cost is shown in these numbers. And that is very negative for the market, in my view. Very negative. Because what's going to be coming is consumer inflation. And for this number to be, first of all, if this number beat, like the way this number came in today, if this number beat, you know what the SPOO would be? 6,800. They'd have to shut trading for the day. That's how frothy these maniacs are. They would shut trading because, it would be up too much. They'd have to like put circuit breakers on the upside. I mean, what is going on here? This is a horrible number. Horrible. Probably one of the worst out of line numbers that we've seen in years. No? When was the last time you saw them looking for, first of all, prior was zero. So the prior PPI was zero, okay, which is really like no inflation, right? And they were looking for an uptick to zero point 0.2. It came in at 0.9 across the board. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then you go down to the final demand year over year number is 3.3. That's hot. And then the X food and energy number is 3.7. That's explosive. So I know the market's chilling and, everyone wants to buy every crazy stock. Maybe they'll just buy Bullish. They came out with a stock yesterday. No one knows what it really does. Someone tells me it does stable coins. Someone else tells me it's a crypto exchange. No one knows. They're trading it. They don't know really what it does or what it is, but it's called Bullish. Okay. And the stock opened IPO and ran to 120 and then went to 60. And then they're back at buying it again today. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm long a crypto exchange called Kraken. It has not gone public. Okay. It does 10 times the revenue of this company, maybe more. Okay. And it's valued at way less. Okay. Because, we're in a bubble and this is public and people just want to buy. You don't think people just want to buy?
Um, yeah, I think I feel bad for the people that I hope none of your subscribers were buying that IPO when it came out and ran to 100 just to come right back in. And to me, that was a difference between the Circle IPO, which stayed up and then continued to go up. This one didn't do that. I think this one, I don't know. Maybe the market is ready to kind of let go a little bit here. I don't know.
Well, it certainly doesn't look like it. Like I said, we'll probably be green by the opening. I'm just telling you, this number is the worst number that you could have. What's going to happen in the market today is, that's at the, up to the trading gods. But this is a really bad number. And it's a bad number for why I stated it. It's basically a bad number because literally it's hitting producers and inflation is rampant. Okay. And, like I said before, when the future was tanking before, it didn't make sense because, I mean, it made sense and it should have, but no one's selling a share of a stock. They're not selling. No one will sell. Okay. And I've seen this movie before. I've traded a really long time and I've traded through, I'm not, I'm going to use the word bubble, but I don't want to use it because people get all upset and whatever, the same way they got upset in '07 into '08 when it was a bubble. No, literally every day people are like, well, why are you calling this a bubble? And the big thing back then in '08 was VAR analysis. And I ran a big hedge fund. I had $1 billion under management and I would have my investors coming in and they're like, well, why don't you use VAR? And VAR is a type of analysis, is like a what if scenario, but they don't go to the outsides of the curve. And that's what blew everyone up. And I'm like, dude, your people are just running analysis of things that, they're not accounting for the outside risk. And everyone blew up in '08. So it's the same thing now. I mean, we're going to have a massive blow up here. Again, this can run another day, another week, another month, another 2 months. It can run whatever. It can run for all time. I mean, but people have an insatiable appetite to buy stocks and never sell. So I don't know, like if your account, let me ask you this. If your account went from 20,000 to 200,000, would you sell something? I'm just wondering. If your account went from 20,000 to 200,000, would you sell something? Of
If
course.
if it's for if it's for one of my investors, I'm stopping trading because at that point, you stop there, you have a P&L like that, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm saying, but everybody has that for the most part. Everybody, listen, look at the story in Palantir. Okay. I bought it pre-public at $2 a share. Okay. I'm an idiot because I made 10 times my money. Okay. Which is a great trade for me. I could have made 80 times my money, which is unheard of and never has happened. Okay. Then people, they don't even know what it is. They start buying at 80, 70, 90, 100. It goes to 180 here and no one is selling anything. And if you recall back in April, the stock was $75. So the stock went from it wasn't as high as 180, but it was 130 and it went to 75. It went in half. And you know what happens? People go into the bunker and they hide and they don't make another trade. They say, I'm not getting out. And the only reason really why '08 happened was it was forced liquidation. And the same thing's going to happen here when it happens. It's going to be forced liquidation. Literally, people are going to be forced out of their portfolio. I promise you that. That is going to happen. So I know people are on the air, they're watching me and they're like throwing darts at me and they're like calling me names and whatever. I'm just looking here to trade for today. That's our setup. What we try to do, get everyone ready for the trading of the day. Okay, what we're looking at macro wise that will lead to, picking up good stocks both on the long side and the short side, and then also being able to navigate movement in the market. But when I get like this and I'm ultra cautious, I just want people to realize what they have and take it, accept it, and basically, you know, understand how lucky they are, and they're very, very lucky that the market has been so forgiving and you've made a lot of money. And let me ask you this. People are watching. You're in different professions. Obviously a lot of people are traders, but people in, like, let's say there's a doctor on this show. I can't go and do that guy's job today, can I? I'd probably kill somebody. Okay. But anybody can trade. Anybody with this, a trading account, can trade. Okay. Anybody. You don't have to, what do they say? No experience necessary. And right now, the market has been ultra forgiving for pretty much everyone. And we have to, we have to
You know, I
see.
I was pushing back on you all summer about the bubble talk, but over the last week and a half, I've started I started to notice a lot of novices, a lot of non professionals started getting. It's okay to be confident, but it got to a point where began to kind of like drink their own.
Wait a
They
second. You
started.
think that just happened this week? Okay, whatever you say, dude. I know you
I think
picked
it
it up,
reached kind of
dude.
like.
You were. You know what? You ever watch the zombie movies where like a guy gets bit by a guy, and if he gets bit by a guy, he turns into a zombie? Bro, you were a zombie. Okay, you were just like that. Now all of a
All
sudden
right.
you woke up. I mean, come on, dude.
Oh, look,
And,
maybe I
and
just know how
in
to
full
read the room.
disclosure, in full
You don't know how to
disclosure,
read the room, Larry. You don't know how to read the room. The room was saying
okay.
we're not selling yet, and you were fighting
Oh,
them the
now
whole time.
you're
I
confident
wasn't
that they're
fighting them.
done? You're
I just
because we're
wasn't
down.
fighting
Wait,
them.
because we're down 38 basis points today after rallying. Wait, we're down 40 basis points today after a 47% run, and you think they're done. Okay, whatever. Dude, listen. Every time, all I
I think
know,
we're gonna. Look, I
dude,
saw this last year. Do you remember July 16th? We had a podcast, and I'm like, look, the algo broke, and the algo broke when the Russell 2000 went up 3%, Nasdaq dropped 3% in one day. It was a historic day. You remember that. 2 weeks later, what happened? Everybody was talking about the Japanese carry trade break. So when I see what I saw yesterday with the Russell rip, the Nasdaq drop, it wasn't as big as last year, but it tells me there's a dynamic that has changed. And the fact that the Russell was up so much just based on pure short covering, and it's right back down today. I mean, what does that tell you?
you know what? It doesn't tell me anything. Literally, it tells me that it seems to me like I
Does it
would
tell
be
you
in.
anything?
No,
Nothing.
it
That tells
doesn't.
you nothing. Okay.
Tells me nothing. Tells me nothing because yesterday, you know what? Now you're getting me pissed. Okay. Yesterday, after the closure, I'm like, I think this trend's intact. I go, this trend has never worked. Okay. And it
What
will not
trend? What
work.
trend is that? Well, when did I say that?
Yesterday, you're like, oh, I like this Russell, the NASDAQ S&P. And this. I go,
Oh
dude,
yeah, that one. Yeah, I do like. Yeah,
listen, this is,
I think
listen.
Nasdaq S&P continues to
Listen,
drop.
when they want to get out of, listen, they should be like today. You should see these high flying crazy names come off. Okay, they may. I mean, again, I don't know. It's just they're not down. They're just not down a lot. I don't see stuff down a lot. I mean, Palantir's down $1. I mean,
Yeah, but
you
you're
know,
only looking at Palantir. There's other stuff. There's
no,
stuff
I'm
like Sound.
looking at Nvidia, Palantir, Apple. I'm looking at every one of the, dude.
You're looking at the
Do
max.
you know that nine stocks account for 85% of the S&P gain on the year? Nine stocks. Okay, so don't you think those are the only nine stocks we need to look at? Okay, literally.
No.
Why? Those things have to go down for the market to go down unless they don't go, dude. Dude. You know what, Thomas? We have the birthday cake. We might take the birthday cake out again for the market on the second down day in a month and a half. You're
I hope
celebrating
so.
the 30 basis
I'm not
point move. I
celebrating
can't
anything.
do this. I cannot do this. This is a 30 basis point move. I mean, this is nothing. We were up more than 30 basis points freaking yesterday at one point. I mean, come on. We're down 26 handles for the last 23 days out of 24 days. The market's been up, and it's been up 20 handles every day. And now you're talking about a massive sea change, and
I'm,
you're
I'm just
literally
I'm just trying to
celebrating.
get
Let's
you
pull
ready.
up the
I'm trying to
poppers,
get you.
dude. Why pom poms are out? Oh yeah, dude.
We're way too
Talk to
mellow
me when we're
yesterday.
down. Talk to me when we're down 100 handles, okay? And where these guys are begging, they're not begging. They want to buy that, dude. They want to buy this dip. 100%. It's wrong, but they want to buy the dip. That's what we're in now. Buy the dip. You don't
So
think?
we're at basically on the futures. We're at Tuesday's high, which was the high of the CPI reaction. Now you have the producer price index come out, completely flipping the narrative. So does that mean that we dig into some of those gains from Tuesday? I think so. And there's a lot of gains from Tuesday to be dug into. So yeah, we could have, over the next couple of days, I think into Monday, maybe we do have that 50 to 100 point dip. You there? You trading? What are you doing, man? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Dude, come on. Grow a
There you go.
set. You're coming on touting a 50 handle move. Do you realize the S&P is at 6,400? That's not even a percent. That's what you're touting. We're going to get a 1% move. Dude, you are just part of what is going on here. We are
I said
so high. You're trading something that maybe you shouldn't be trading because 1% is not a big move. Okay. But the problem is the index has gone to 6,400. So now 1% is 64 handles. That if we go down 64 handles today, the room will go on tilt. Okay. The entire market will tilt. Okay. This is set up for something much, much worse. Okay. And maybe they hold this thing up to the end of the summer. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't.
But
Right.
but I
Right.
don't know what
I
you're
don't.
really you're counting a coveted move of 1 to 1.5%. That's your coveted move.
No,
And
that's
you think
not.
we're in a bubble. You
No.
actually said today you think we're in a bubble.
I
That's what
don't.
you
I
said.
don't. I don't look. There's parts of the market are definitely in a bubble. I think uh,
Yeah,
when you
that part is called
the
the
problem
investment.
with calling things a bubble. Here's the problem with calling things a bubble. It's like a go-to catchphrase that you love to use, but I don't think you know exactly what a bubble is. Like what is a bubble? How do you define
Okay,
a
right,
bubble?
dude. Okay. You're right. If I don't know, then who knows?
Okay, define a bubble.
Where were you in
Give me a
1987?
give
Dude,
me
2
a
years old?
distinct, like exact definition of a bubble. What is it?
Dude, I want to know how old you were in 1987. Okay. 1? Okay.
Four.
So, right. So, whatever. Okay. I traded it. Okay. We were coming into that. That was a bubble. That bubble burst because of portfolio insurance. Okay. Which didn't even really make sense, but it was really an over exuberance of the public on their first wave of getting into the market. And it was done mostly through options. But I mean, when you say I don't understand a bubble, I understand a bubble
You
and a
can't you
bubble.
can't just call a market a bubble just because it's up a lot, right? That's not a bubble.
Eric, I am not. First of all, market is up probably the most in history in the shortest time. That's one. Okay, that's not why I'm calling this a bubble. Okay, I'm calling this a bubble because my mother is buying Bitcoin. Okay,
Yes.
that's why I'm
So
calling this a
that
bubble. I'm calling this a bubble because Bullish comes out yesterday. They couldn't have gone public for their life a year ago. 1 year ago, that company was worth $1. It was worth nothing. It they come out, they catch every buzzword, stable coin, crypto exchange, da 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 da. They come out
Right.
and everyone wants to own it. They don't. But I'm long Kraken for the last 2.5 years. This thing stinks. Okay, it doesn't go up. Okay,
Okay.
now it's
So,
going to
so
go up because of
what you just
lunacy.
said,
This
what
stock
you
is
just
overvalued by 95%. Okay, 95%. Not even, I'm just telling you, I'm in the space. Okay, I know what they're doing. I know what their revenues look like, and it's insane. And it had yesterday a $17 billion market cap. Okay, so that's a bubble. That's a bubble when people are buying anything for
no,
no reason
that
whatsoever.
alone, no, that alone is not a bubble. So
Okay,
that what you're
okay.
describing there is something where the market pervades society. People that shouldn't be trading are trading. Everybody's trading. The taxi cab driver, the waiter,
Absolutely not. You know what the first bubble in history was?
tulips.
Yep. Okay. Not
Yeah.
everyone was trading it. Not everyone. No one even had access to it. It was a market that
Hey,
got
in that market,
oversaturated with people that didn't know what they were doing.
yeah,
Okay.
the price of a flower became more than the price of a house. So that's the other part of the bubble where fundamental value diverges from like value price diverges from fundamental
Makes
reality. Do you
makes no
think
sense.
prices are divergent from fundamental reality here? I mean, all these companies are beating earnings, they're making money. Their profit margins on all these AI stocks that you don't like, they're like 50% profit margins. So they're making money.
Eric,
What I don't like about
Eric,
the market
Eric,
is
Eric, I don't care how much money they're making. Okay.
okay.
A year and a half ago, they had a 1 trillion. They are not making any money to fill the gap between 1 trillion and 4 trillion. Okay. That's 3 trillion. That's what they're doing. There's no way. Like, look at Palantir. That's the biggest, literally, I don't want to beat on it because actually I made a lot of money in it to the long and I appreciate the company. But come on, they're trading at $450 billion and they made a revenue of $1 billion. Their business is already solidified for the year. They're on government contracts. 90% or 75% of their business is government contracts. They can't they can't make those numbers. I mean, they'll make some low earnings, whatever. But if you look at valuation, okay, like Nvidia, they'd have to sell every chip times 100 to have a $5 trillion valuation. But nobody cares, dude. They're just riding the gravy. It's a gravy train. They're riding the gravy train. The train is at the station and they're riding it. And I get it. So, the bottom line is, listen, you're saying I don't know a bubble. It's fine that you say that since I was trading in '08, in 2000, 1987,
No, but
in
it's not
COVID.
that
You know
I
I
think
don't know
you're
a
only
bubble. It's
focused
fine.
on.
It's fine.
I just think that a lot of people that say that call the market a bubble are only focused on the social part of what
Well, let me
makes
ask
it a
you
bubble.
this. Were they calling the market a bubble a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? No. No. This has been a 3 month thing, okay, of insanity. Okay. Maybe 4 months since, listen, I was long on the lows. Okay. And my subscribers know that. And we made a lot of money. Okay. It's just been choppy for the last 2.5 months, but we haven't added to our short. And all of my products, okay, are basically up on the year. Every product I have. And I've been calling a bubble and I've been wrong, okay, for the moment. And I think this is a true bubble. And the way the bubble gets hit, okay, it doesn't, like, you're not coming in tomorrow. Well, listen, 87 was like that, okay, because it wasn't. Now it's this market's run by people mostly under the age of 35, that have not seen a lot. So this bubble will be a lot. This bubble probably won't happen in a day. But what's going to happen is, you'll have a stock like Nvidia, which is over. Listen, let's go to Nvidia for one split second. Okay. And I've been saying, to me, the stock should be at least $10 lower than this. Okay. I was away on July 15th. They came out with an announcement that China was buying the H20 chip. The stock literally ran up 9 points on $150. Okay. Now it's 180. Okay. It is 100% certain China's not buying one of our chips or their chips. Not one. They're not. Why would they put those chips in their computers? It's just we wouldn't do it for them. Or maybe we would. We're buying Taiwan Semiconductor. We want them to produce here. But I don't think that it looks good, okay, that they're, basically not buying our chips. Okay? So here's the scenario. Okay? And I've been saying this for 3 days. Stock is drifting lower, but the stock was higher. Okay? When they were buying the chips, the stock went from 150 or 148 to 158. Okay? Now, they're not buying our chips, correct? Yes,
Yeah,
no?
I guess so. I guess
They're
so.
not buying our chips. Okay? They're not buying the H20 chip. They've halted it. Okay? They're not buying it. Do you know how much the stock is down? Two and a
It
half
didn't go
dollars.
up on the news.
$2.50. So what that is frothy and that's a bubble. When I look at a market, that's a bubble. Okay.
Yeah. So
Like
so
I said
recently,
before,
so you're
it
right.
can.
You're right about that. So that stuff has really come
So what happens
to
in
surface
my
recently.
listen, it may be different this time, but what happens here is I'll go back to Palantir for a second. Stock's trading, 184. It's down a couple, just $2. It should be down like 10. Okay. But the first 10 is the hardest 10. Okay. The first seven is the hardest seven. Once you get that, that gets people thinking, and then they don't have to sell because they're still up money. But if the stock gets back down to 120, 130, they have to sell unless they want to lose all of their profits, which they may as well too. But that's how this happens. The first wave here is not the problem. Okay. The problem is the second and third wave, if it happens. So again, um, I'm only saying a bubble because I'm seeing things that don't make a lot of sense. And I'm getting people, that I know that are very wealthy in my community, okay, that have made, they need the extra money to live the better life, but they're not taking one profit. And to me, that's a egregious disregard for the market. But I wanna before we end for the weekend for today, I wanna touch a little bit on a few things out there. Bonds weird reaction today, not down. I guess they still think the rate cut obviously is in the market. Oil weird
Yeah, but
weird.
hold on. The 2 year is down noticeably.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe they ran it too much. Maybe, they were looking for 5 rate cuts now. Maybe they're
Wow.
looking for 4. I don't know. You know,
Right.
I don't know. Um, you know, I just know looking at these stocks, they're not going down. Apple is stoked to the moon, literally the moon. I don't know what happened. It was the worst acting stock on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, and it went from the worst acting stock to the best acting stock in.
There's actually a thought out there that like when the forgotten stocks like Apple, the old dogs, start outperforming, that's like the last leg of the market. There's that notion out there, and we're kind of seeing that with Apple. What are you doing with Apple? Are you putting on a play there, or
Um, I don't have a play on for the subscribers. I missed them, but I'm just looking at it maybe to get shorted here. That's it. So anyway, are you with me?
I'm with you?
Yeah, I love when I talk and then I ask like sort of a question and then you don't answer, and it kind of makes me think you're on mute, but I don't I
No,
don't know. So anyway,
deeper earlier.
oil. We have a short position in oil. Oil's up a little today. I'm not understanding why. Um, gold still in the same place, never really moving. Look for it to trade lower. Bonds, very weird story. Now, 2 days ago, they were selling the long and buying the short, and now they're buying the long and selling the short. So,
Well, you said that would happen with the yield curve, right?
and today is interesting because the market's hanging in because everyone wants to buy. It's going to be interesting to see if they don't buy. I mean, I keep staring to the right of me as my Bloomberg terminal, and I keep staring at this number, and it's actually amazing. It's actually it's actually so bad that it's amazing. It's so bad. It's such a bad number. And, they'll come out and say it's fake and, Trump is going to go ballistic. But I would tell you, if we beat the number by 1/10, these numbers are off by almost a full percent. I mean, there's massive inflation. Okay. If we beat this number by 1/10 of 1%, the market would be up double what we're down right now, minimally. Okay, so that's the tape. So you gotta respect it. You gotta trade it. Today, my thought is, let's see the opening. They're gonna buy the opening, whoever they are, the same day that has been buying every day. They're gonna buy the opening, and we're gonna see if we hold. If we don't hold, today could get a little bit interesting. Um, I'm gonna get a little bit more aggressive in my short positions at certain levels. Palantir, I'm doubling up my position. If it goes down to 180 or lower, I'm going to get bigger in the name. Just for full disclosure, right now sitting in a small short position. Apple, kind of straddling the market. Both sides don't really see much. I think it could trade lower. It's really had a good move. Nvidia's in crazy town at 180. Watch for that on a dip here to get down into the low, 178s, 179s. I just don't see the positive news here. The market's ignoring it. But earnings are coming up. Nvidia, what, the 24th? I don't know the date, but
Give me a second. I think. Hold on, let me check. Let me
what
check.
about this? Let's leave on this note for the week. Where's the straddle? Yesterday it was
I, so, where do you think it is?
825.
That's exactly right.
Dude, I wasn't cheating. You know.
Nvidia is on the 27th.
Okay, so I guess that's we got next week of nothing. And then we have that midweek, Wednesday the 27th. So that's, I guess, the next thing to get people going here. But overall, I mean, you're getting all excited on a 50 handle down day. I mean, I don't know how that gets you excited.
Not really excited.
No, whatever. Even if you get you're like saying 100, like that, dude. We ran 100. Thomas, where were we last Thursday in S&P? I'll bet you we're up 100 handles from last Thursday, probably. I mean, we're up every day. Doesn't matter any of those days. It's market is bid to the moon.
Yeah, we closed 9 handles about this.
Yeah, we're up 100 handles in a week. Just so you know, there, Mister Eric. After going up every week this summer, so you're looking for just pullback of last week's action. Um, the market is, I'm going to use a different word. The market is inflated with massive risk from retail investors. Realize what it is. It could last. It could keep going. I'm not saying it can't. We're just looking.
I think
We're looking to
it's a more
chop. We're looking to chop inside the market. That's what we do. We're about 10 minutes for the opening, so I want to get going. Look for them to buy the opening. Look for a failure in the market today. And a lot of these names have run really, really far. So, let's keep an eye on that. And, I'm almost thinking if we get weaker to sell a little bit of weakness. Also leave you with this. Trump is flying out to Alaska to meet Putin, right? But basically, they're not talking about anything to come to a ceasefire unless Putin quits. Which anything can happen, but they're not. they're not, Ukraine is not ceding any territory. So Putin either has to throw it down and accept defeat, or, beg Trump to go to them to get something to not look bad. It'll be kind of like, in a way, it'll be like what happened in Iran. They were like, "Dude, think about how fake that was. We literally called them to tell them we were blowing up their nuclear facility so they could take the nuclear stuff out of the facility. Okay. Then Iran calls us and goes, "Hey guys, at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, we're gonna bomb your base. We're not gonna hit the base, but we'll hit like 10 miles near it. Just say we hit the base and no one got hurt." I mean, that's the same thing here. It's like the only way they're gonna get a ceasefire is if Putin looks good, which means they're gonna have to get something. So we'll have to again, we'll have to see how all of that works. That's the next big thing, I guess, coming up. Bonds are leaking lower, which is shocking that the S&P isn't going lower, but the bonds are leaking lower. So I would be a little bit cautious here. On the opening. Let's see what they do. Keep an eye on, Apple would be one to look at, and Nvidia. But anyway, we're going too long today. We're close to the opening. I wish everyone a great weekend, and we'll be back Monday, Eric and I, but tomorrow is my Ask Me Anything. So you can write into feedback at the Opportunistic Trader. If you want to ask me any questions, I'd be happy to answer, and you can watch that tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Peace. Enjoy.